This is Cricbuzz Chatter with Adam Collins here in London and Michael Vaughan on his way to Southampton to watch the first test match of the summer. Vaughanie, we've been waiting for this so long in isolation over here, so long in lockdown, and at last it's here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi everyone. I've had my swab test. So far so good. I've passed. I'll be entering the bio bubble tomorrow. I've got all my incidentals. Cups of tea will be by the plenty. Can't wait to get down. I watched a little bit of the warm-up game last week, which was streamed live on the web. It was just great to see cricket once again. We've seen a bit of racing, we've seen a bit of football, we've seen a bit of golf, and now cricket is coming back. So I can't wait to get down to Southampton.
A very different kind of cricket as well, Vaughanie. I mean, noting that there's not going to be crowds. And look, that's not without precedent. From time to time, teams do play behind, essentially closed doors in the UAE when Pakistan have home test matches, for example. But a very different environment to play in front of for England test players who are used to pack houses and also the fast bowlers not having saliva on the ball.
It's going to be very surreal for everybody, whether you're a broadcaster or a player, and particularly the players, as you said, they're so used to crowds and noise, particularly here in the UK. Those that have played in the UAE, I guess, have got a slight advantage. It's in a motivation, isn't it, for the players? It's what motivates you. If you look across both squads, Adam, a lot of young players making the way in Test match cricket, so they've got to really see this as an opportunity of just setting themselves into the teams and trying to make sure that they establish themselves over the course of the next few weeks in Test match cricket in a different environment. The senior pros, they may struggle a little bit more because generally when you get a bit older, you do need that motivation of someone maybe abusing you from the stands, the Barmy Army singing your song, getting behind you. So I'll be very interested to see how the individuals cope with it. It will be different. The pitch, Test match cricket starting in the UK in July, so we generally see a ball that's swinging around all over the place with the saliva that was and it used to be used. Obviously it can't be used now, so I don't think we'll see as much movement through the air. We may see a bit of spin. I watched that 3-day game, there was a little bit of spin down at the Ageas Bowl, so you mentioned Rakeem Cornwall not playing. I'm not too sure whether that would be the right move for the West Indies. 4 quicks at the Ageas Bowl on a slow pitch. I'm not too sure. If you go back a couple of years ago when India played there, it spun hugely. Moeen Ali getting all those wickets. So if I was the West Indies, I'd be having a look at playing maybe one more spin option.
And the beauty of the West Indies is they've got that flexibility. Jason Holder is their all-rounder skipper. Such a fantastic 2019. Up against Ben Stokes. Very rare, Vaughanie, in Test cricket. You'll see 2 big all-rounders as the 2 skippers, of course. Stokes standing in this week for Joe Root, who's having a child.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the pessimism in the UK is, another all-rounder being an England Test match captain. It's not going to work. It didn't work for Andrew Flintoff. It didn't work for Ian Botham. So the pessimism is out there. I just think with Ben Stokes, if there's one individual that could cope with it, I just think he's that man, because in the last 2 years, he's pretty much done everything in the game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he becomes an outstanding England captain. It won't be for a while because Joe Root will come straight back in the week after, but I just think he's that kind of character that he'll revel in being the skipper. I think what will be quite interesting for him will be when he gets the chance to bowl. He might be fortunate that Joss Butler's his vice-captain, the wicket-keeper, and if we weren't having a little whisper in Joss's ear when he's bowling, say, you captain while I'm bowling, I'll just concentrate on the skill levels. Jason Holder, the number 1 ranked all-rounder in the world, no one really knows that, but he is. Everyone just presumes that it's Ben Stokes. Well, Jason Holder is a wonderful leader, magnificent all-rounder, and he's the one individual, I think, that gives the West Indies some hope because of the way that he leads and the way that he kind of has galvanised West Indies cricket over the last few years. You get a sense that they're here to shock the England team. They're without the likes of Darren Brava and Shimron Hetmyer, 2 hugely talented left-handed batsmen, and runs probably will be the issue for the West Indies. But if there's a team that could surprise England with a leader like Jason Holder, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they produce a performance or 2 over the next few weeks.
Well, we saw that 18 months ago, didn't we, Vaughanie, when last time England were in the West Indies, they got blasted out by some serious fast bowling. Whether or not they play a spinner or not, I suppose that's West Indies' plan A in the absence of experienced runs. And look, let's be frank, they don't have that in their top 6, and they didn't have a particularly productive practice match last week on that front. But they have got quicks and they've got experienced fast bowlers who can bowl out England. Yeah,
they can, and I just look at it purely as a cricket fan. I hope the series is tight. I think what Test match cricket needs and what cricket in general needs, with it obviously being missed for such a long period of time, is a good close series. will the real quality be on show? I think we've got to give the players a little bit of leeway. They haven't got the preparation as they would have had. I think the actual standard might be just a little bit down from what we can usually see, but they will try and blast England out. This England batting lineup has kind of moved aside the old way of playing flamboyantly and trying to be aggressive all the time to a more established mechanism of what Test match cricket is. Bat for a long period of time, try and see off the new ball, try and bat 120, 130 overs in the first innings. That's what worked well for England in South Africa. And with the team that they've picked, and now they've got Ollie Pope at 6, an out-and-out batsman rather than a flamboyant player at 6. It looks to me like under Chris Silver, England are going back to the old school of the way that Test match cricket should be played. So I think that'll make it more difficult for the West Indies. But if they can bat first, we know with this England side, if you bat first against them and get anything beyond 250 in that first innings, you put them under a huge amount of pressure. It doesn't sound a great deal of runs, but over the last 3 or 4 years, it's proven to be enough to put this England side under pressure. So if I was to be the West Indies, I'd be thinking bat first, try and get something near that 300, throw the balls to the likes of Kemar Roach, Shannon Gabriel, Azari Jovis, Roston Chase, who's had success against this England side. And as I said, I think it could be a close series. I really hope it is a tight series, and we're talking about some quality, some tight sessions, tight days. I don't want to see a completely one-sided series. As much as the England players would love that, I think for cricket we need this to be a real tightly fought series.
Vaughanie, lastly, you mentioned South Africa, and England have been loyal to the batsmen who gave them the chance to bat for long periods of time in that successful 3-1 win all the way back in January. It feels like 100 years ago, but it was only 4.5 months ago. On the bowling side of the ledger, though, Anderson and Broad are fit and playing, presumably, which means there might only be room for one of Archer or Wood. Wood bowled the house down last week. Jofra Archer, of course, had a 2019 that we'll talk about for generations. Who are you picking?
I've said for a while I'd go both. Anderson and Broad for me. I just see one of them playing. Jimmy Anderson plays for me. I get a sense like you that they'll probably go with both of them, but you've got to remember what this England Test match side are building towards. As a player, you want to be in this first team on Wednesday. You've been in a bubble for 2 weeks. You've been in lockdown for 3 months. This first Test match team, particularly the bowling attack, England will say that they're going to rotate over the course of the next 6 weeks. Of course they will. You want to be in that team. It's a big miss. I personally would go Wood and Archer, and one of Anderson and Broad would miss out. But that seems to always get a lot of controversy. It's just the way that I would go with the Test match team at the minute.
Never shy with the big call, Michael Vaughan. He'll be with us throughout on Cricbuzz Chatter through the course of the Test match summer here in England. We absolutely cannot wait.